Here we go. The grand finals. Looks like we just caught them shuffling their decks up, getting everything started off. I
Yep.
feel like David's got a pretty good start here. Going Sabo, keep calling. Uh, and I mean, that Galarian Mulch is just hiding in the hand for whenever it's going to come
hmm
out and play.
No, yeah, that's definitely true here. We can kind of see the Sobble go keep calling, and we'll see how many Darkmot or how many Pokemon Darkmot's able to establish. Can he get a couple of Houndowers down to get a turn two beatdown or impact blow? And I think that's really all Darkmot needs here to kind of put the start going. And there we go. Yeah, we see the double Houndour start there, which is pretty perfect.
Yeah, I mean, really not too bad at all here. It's double hander. You got the single strike ready to attack next turn, and that Marnie, maybe seeing access to Drizzile for Galley or for David going to next turn. We do see that
Yep.
there's another keep calling, so I mean I think it's just going to be a keep calling kind of turn. Maybe putting
Yeah.
down a Tapu Koko this turn, just so that there's a free retreating Pokemon to kind of pivot out of. But checking the prize card's also a very good strategy.
Yeah, just kind of see we got prize. You're in the finals here. You definitely want to make sure that you know what you're doing, you know what's prized. Because yeah, you're in the finals. You want to make sure you have all the knowledge of your deck.
Exactly. Now, when it comes down to it, we do have. There's a lot of great prizes for this event. GGtoor,
Mm-hmm.
I believe this event was free to play.
Yep.
I'm just double checking. I think it's free to play, and these players are walking away with a guaranteed $100 by making finals. And they're really playing a money match here for $100. The other matches that we saw in the top four walking away with $50 each, and the top eight walking away with $25 each. So you want to know what? Everyone who we've watched on stream is walking away with some kind of cash.
Yeah, he definitely can't complain too much about that for sure.
I mean, it's definitely nice. I mean, Pokemon's fun, but when you're
Yep.
playing Pokemon and win some money, that's some Uber Eats right there. That's a McDonald's meal. That
Yep.
might be a booster box of Fusion Strike from your local game store. So shout out to GGtoor and ChillTCG for putting on these events for the community. I know this event was absolutely a massive success with over 320 players playing. So
Yeah.
it's cool.
Yeah, it's always nice to see these tournaments have a good showing of players, and only one of them will win here. But it looks like we're gonna see David's turn here. He's got the drizzle in his hand, a couple energy searches. I wonder what he's going to do here. I imagine he just wants to maybe try to swing with Hoopa this turn, um, to maybe set up the Sableye to KO the Urshi. Because I think Sableye V is actually a pretty good attacker for this matchup here.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sableye V might be for this matchup.
Yeah.
That might be for it. I really want to know why, and that's one of those things as a caster where I'm like, I'm a caster, but I'm also a player first and foremost. And when I
hmm
see cards like this, I'm like, I love picking players' brains because everyone has a story behind a card. Whether or not it's the Pukumuku in Darkmot's list or the Sableye in David's list, I think it could really be those are really interesting aspects of Pokemon.
Yeah, a lot of players usually tend to build, their own kind of builds of different archetypes or adding their own unique cards, and the Sableye definitely is something that I haven't seen yet in this Hoopa Moltres deck.
Yeah, I haven't really seen it either, but we haven't really seen it come out. This is gonna be our third time streaming David today, and
Yeah.
we haven't seen it come out. And this is game number 5, I think. Game number
Yep.
5. Game number 5, yeah, because
Yeah,
David's
game
two out
number
all
five.
their
Yep.
opponents, so
Mm-hmm.
um, really could be anyone's game. But right now, it's not looking like it's David's game. When you're using Tapu Koko to draw cards,
No,
that's
yeah.
really not where it's at. And I mean, I think we're just going to see beat down, beat down, beat down. Now, the way that I try to play Pokemon is I try to offer up as many prize cards as I take in return. Because if you're
Uh-huh.
taking a 3 prize card Pokemon and you knock out and you draw 3 prize cards from that Pokemon attacking, that's cool. That math works out and it's equal, a fair trade. Um, if you're using a 3 prize card attacker and then a Galarian Moltres swoops down and knocks you out, that's not a
Mm-hmm.
fair trade, and that's why you're
No.
losing those games. So I think right now, like the single strike Urshifu just seems to be rolling with beatdown and knocking out a lot of David's Pokemon, and David doesn't really seem to have too much in response to it at all.
No, yeah, I think David's best option is to maybe like quick shooting the Urshifu, and then I think Sableye can one shot it. But oh, we're gonna see a Tool Jammer come down. I don't think that matters though. So yeah, I'm curious to see what David's gonna do this turn. The thing is, in this matchup, Darkmon actually does play the Marnies. One of the things with the the Mew deck had no Marnies, so David kind of just was able to kind of play whatever he wanted without worrying about his hand. So I wonder here if how David's going to play this game, knowing that this time there is Marnies, which is definitely a big deal for a deck like this.
Yeah, exactly. Because, like you said, David was able to hold on to this gigantic 10 card hands, making your opponent wish they played Copycat. And now
Yep.
it's just like every single second turn, we got 4 Marnies going on Darkmot's list, and that hand's pretty low. I really don't see too much that David's able to do here. Like, you could maybe bench down the Galarian Moltres, pitch away the Raihan, and go for research, but it doesn't look
Mm-hmm.
like it's that big, juicy turn that we were looking for. I mean, maybe you could go ahead and go Sableye, attach an energy from the discard pile, attach an energy again,
Yeah.
but that doesn't get us out of the active spot. And Sableye needs a lot of damage on the active to get that damage off. So, like, right now, it looks like David's kind of like checkmated, and that single strike Urshifu VMAX looks like it's going to be able to draw its 3 prize card threshold, because I don't think that Pokemon's getting knocked out this turn.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And I mean, the only thing David has going for him is that he's still working towards that Moltres' damage output.
Yeah, Moltres does get more powerful as the game does grow on. Since it is a little
Mm-hmm.
bit more of an uncommon card, let me read this card out to everyone, because you might want to know exactly what's going on. Because not every
Yeah.
single player plays Pokemon, probably as much as LDF. We're just two crazy Canadians.
Yeah.
We have Malevolent Charge. This card's very hard to pronounce. There's so many difficult ways to pronounce this card. I'm just going to throw that out there. When you drop the Moltres down from your hands, uh, you may attach up to 2 Darkness energy cards from your hand to this Pokemon. So since its energy attack costs 3, you can attach those 2 for invincibility, 1 for your turn, and then its Fiery Wrath attack does 20 plus 50 for each prize card your opponent has taken. So even though David doesn't have much going on, these prize cards being given up and stuff like that are really adding on to the Galarian Moltres damage, and the deck gets better with time because there's damage on the single strike Urshifu VMAX that
Yep.
builds up for Sableye. The Galarian Moltres gets built up for Fiery Wrath. There's a lot of ways to just kind of build up for that late game.
Yeah, no, exactly. There's a lot of different combos here with the Sableye, the Inteleon. The Inteleon actually does fix the math too for the Moltres. Umbreon VMAX, if it ever has to take damage from Houndoom, it goes down to 290 HP. Moltres does 270 with the 5 prizes taken. So I think with an Inteleon pain, that's 290. So there's a lot of interesting kind of things in David's deck here with math fixing. And we actually see a beatdown knock out the Drizzile. Let's see what David decides to do here.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's not looking great for David. I mean, that single strike Urshifu VMAX has definitely been putting in the work. Uh,
Yeah.
hasn't skipped leg day or arm day or any kind of day. Just slapping Pokemon out, beating them down,
Yep.
and I mean, if we're just gonna see another Hoopa, I think it's getting close to the point where like I don't see how David can win this game.
Yeah, if David just goes with Hoopa here, the Urshifu just takes another knockout, and I mean David can do Moltres, but if the Moltres gets KO'd, I don't know if Darkmot has a boss or not still, but if the Moltres gets KO'd, then it's probably GG's. David still has to be able to try to chain a Moltres together too and find energy and stuff. To make sure he has 2 Moltreses. I guess he could maybe try to like quick shooting the Umbreon. If the Umbreon ever takes 20 damage from Houndoom, I guess quick shooting plus Moltres 5 prizes taken can one shot that. But David has to basically go knock out Urshifu next turn with Moltres, and knock out an Umbreon the following turn with Moltres if he wants to win this game.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that seems a little bit yuck.
Yeah,
Because
it,
the
it
numbers
might be
don't
out of
really
reach.
add up to knock out an Umbreon, especially if Darkmot plays around it by not using single strike roar. I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
is quite possible to be at 2 prize cards remaining or 1 prize card remaining for Darkmot, and that Galarian Moltres is now hitting for 270 base damage. But
Mm-hmm.
really, it's just like I don't think that Darkmot's going to put themselves in that position. I think they're going to be like, yeah, I'm going to send up a 2 prize card attacker. I'm gonna send up a 1 prize card attacker. Let's see what we could really roll with here. So I don't know. It's looking a little bit like a yikes here. But you want to know what? I wouldn't count David out yet. David is an incredible player, and I think they've played absolutely wonderfully all night. So it could be anyone's game.
No, I agree. I think David can still make a comeback. I still think, David still has, what, the 2 extra games after this to still kind of play the game to try to win the tournament. Losing 1 game isn't always the end of the world if you still have 2 other matches you can try to win.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like we said, this matchup either way, it could really be anyone's game, and the way that those Marnies have really affected David throughout the game have set them back from this like 4-0 win streak that they've had of the games that we've watched. Like, you could have a rough game in Pokemon and make it back, especially when it's 2 out of 3. Been there, done that. I think David's still good, but at the same time, we are seeing a very fragile, underrated, underplayed deck in the grand finals. Like, anything could really happen. I guess that's why we got a bunch of y'all watching this event and really hyped up to see exactly who our next champion's going to be.
Exactly, yep. I'm excited to see. I'm excited. It'll be cool to see a rogue deck like this kind of win the tournament. And speaking of rogue, we are going to probably see the Moltres here KO this Urshifu. I feel like, though, if Darkmot still has a Marnie left in the deck, though, it could spell a disaster for David here, because I think Marnie is like maybe potentially his biggest weakness with his deck.
Exactly. I mean, they definitely have ways to make it all happen for next turn, maybe kinda. Yep. And there is quick shooting Inteleon that might be able to bring that 270 to 310, especially if Darkmot does add damage with Single Strike Roar. It does make it a little bit better. Like, if you look at this hand looks like the magic might just happen. At the same time, we just got to see like how Darkmot's able to handle it. Like, I really think hard attaching a Single Strike energy from your hand or a capture energy, doesn't really matter which kind of energy, just not playing things down. But we might see, we're going to see the Umbreon attack because there's 3 prize cards left on David's side. And I think that really might be difficult for David to deal with, because not only do they have to find Clara, but they have to play a boss. And if you know how Pokemon works, you might not necessarily be able to play both of those cards at once. 1 supporter per turn is the rule that we got going on for us.
Yep, exactly. And there we go. We're gonna see Pikamiku's ability, it looks like, and then we're gonna see a research here. Yeah, no Marnie, that's good. And the baby Umbreon does attack here. But I wonder, can David win the game this turn?
So in order to win the game this turn, as far as my math works out, and I mean, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, LDF. You're the math expert tonight. You've been killing it with the math. Right now, this brings down Darkmot to 1 prize card remaining, which means Galarian Moltres, if you are able to go Malevolent Charge, rip 3 energies onto the Galarian Moltres. So you're going to need a Galarian Moltres, 3 energies, your Fiery Rathan for 270. You're also going to need a Boss's Orders, and you're going to need Quick Shooting Inteleon and Quick Shooting Inteleon. That's what we're looking for the dub on the Umbreon?
Yep, I think so.
And considering we don't see... we see the 3 energies.
Yep.
We do not see access to all of the other cards. I think, like, David's off by maybe 2 cards for this entire combo. I don't think there's a world where the Sableye V can get powered up any better. And with Clara, it doesn't look like that's a Boss's Orders.
Nope. And I think that's basically GG's, and I don't think David can win the game here. I think, that should be game then for Darkmot.
I mean, to be fair, we also don't know if Darkmot has another energy. We've seen crazier things happen in Pokemon, so it is a possibility that this Pokemon does get knocked out. We see the quick shooting on the Umbreon to get it prepared for next turn, and I think David's just like, you want to know what? I haven't lost the game yet. Let's see if Darkmot has it, because all the Single Strike energies are in the discard pile. We need to see a Capture energy or an Urn of Vitality.
Yeah, any one of those cards would do it. Yeah, Darkmot just needs an Urn. We'll see if he has an Urn still. Oh, there's an energy with Single Strike Roar.
Was there an energy left? Okay, there was an energy left.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, there we go.
So, yeah, that's going to be game 1. Yep. We're going to see if David's going to go first. looks like they got him before they're typing. We don't have access to the chat, so it's gonna be a surprise. I wouldn't be surprised if David decided to go first, just to try to get set up. There's a lot of Pokemon that need to be evolved.
Yep, and David has a pretty solid start. He gets 3 basics here. Even starts with his free retreater Tapu Koko, which is good. Though the Koko could be susceptible to a mean look Umbreon. So that's something that David might have to watch out for.
Yeah, stopping that free retreat, but there is still scoop up nets that we do have access for. So like, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. It just depends on how David's able to handle this, or maybe he gets Marnied or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to kind of see here what David decides to do here. I think his start is decent. I mean, the few basics he has is pretty good. He has Drizzle for next turn with that level ball, so he'll be able to get a supporter. We could see a Marnie from Darkmot, obviously, but when you usually get a couple Sobbles down, you're not really too worried about a Marnie all that much.
No, not at all. Will David be the best, very best, like no one ever was? I mean, we're gonna have to find out. Stay tuned.
Yep. Exactly. I guess we'll have to find out. And there's a level ball. Gonna probably see Darkmot try to get a couple Houndours here, which he does have. That's usually pretty good. Get a couple down. Now, the nice thing about Houndour though for Hoopa can actually KO the Houndours here early on. So Darkmot, though he is able to get 3 Houndours, actually 4 almost, but he's probably gonna get an Urshifu here, I imagine. Or actually going for the Umbreon. Ooh, I wonder if Darkmot's able to trap this Koko. That would force a scoop up net out of David here.
Yeah, I mean, that would be really interesting if they could make that happen, but
yeah.
Right now they're getting their Houndours out. They're big chillin'. I don't think it necessarily matters. You're supposed to go second. That's what Magnechu, Mike Fouché is saying. So that's a good point. I mean, going second, would that be to use Keep Calling, Mike? I think that makes sense.
Keep Calling or Assault Gate on Hoopa, I think, are both pretty optimal. Sometimes you can even use like Hoopa to like get an early poke on, a V Pokemon and then KO with Sableye, or even just KO like a Sobble or Houndour. Yeah, I wonder if it was maybe correct for David to go second then.
Yeah, I think going first might be okay.
Yeah. I think both are fine, for sure.
So there's actually no Weezing in this deck. It looks like there'd be Weezing in this deck, but there's no Weezing in this deck.
Yeah, no Weezing. I have seen some Hoopa Ultras lists use Weezing recently. It's a pretty good Pokemon. I mean, Weezing can shut off cards like Houndoom and Drizzile, and even Genesect, which are very, 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 very good.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. We'll see how it we'll see how it plays out. I mean,
exactly.
David has made it all the way to the grand finals of these events. Yeah, no Weezing in this list. Yeah. Still not sure how I feel about the Sableye. Out of all these games, that's the one card that I wanted to see, and it's just not coming out.
Yeah, I think the Sableye is ideal in a matchup like this, especially when you have the ability for the VMAX Pokemon on Darkmot's field to actually self-damage themselves for Crazy Claws. And I think we'll see Sableye eventually. I just don't think David's maybe had a position where he's been able to really utilize it to its fullest extent, though.
Yeah, that's very true. It's definitely been a bit of a rocky start. But it does kind of bring to the question that you're able to... does Hoopa work out in this deck? Yeah, so Mikey in the chat is saying you go second, you could hit with Hoopa turn 1, or you can go Keep Calling. Worked out this game, though, because he had no energy. Gotcha. That's a really good point. I know that you and Ross have played a lot of that deck, Mike, so it's nice to hear some expert kind of commentary. It's very welcome here.
Yeah, for sure.
I definitely try to learn from any players who know what they're talking about, and I mean, you're definitely one of the best players in the game, so very, very, very happy to hear some stuff, because, again, I've played this deck for, like, a YouTube video. I don't know, LDF, have you covered this deck on your channel yet?
I did, but I played, like, a different version of it that had, like, Cinccino and Umbreon instead of Inteleon. Gotcha. It was like a promo, yeah, it was a promo Umbreon. It was, like, a different take on the deck.
Gotcha. But I mean, it's still the same general idea, so it's good to know, especially for just future reference and stuff like that. I definitely know what I'm doing with the single strike deck when it comes down to that.
Hmm.
We've seen that one ever since Battle Styles. And I mean, we'll see if we'll see if David's able to like mount a little bit of a comeback. I don't see how there's a knockout coming out here. Are we gonna see a? Doesn't look like we're gonna see a Sableye here either to get the knockouts.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. We're probably just gonna see the Hoopa kind of come in and swing on the Umbreon. I think David's still potentially fine though, for the time being. I don't think David's in as bad as a spot as he was in last game, especially now that he has like quick shooting in play and stuff. Um, and he does finally get. We see the Sableye there, which he can't use this turn, but he can use next turn if he can go Raihan. The thing is, though, Darkmot's probably not going to evolve that Umbreon V into a VMAX, knowing that the Umbreon's heavily damaged, which means it can either get KO'd by, like, Moltres or even, like, the Sableye.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense there, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really don't, like, do they just go for an Assault Gate just cuz?
I think so, yeah.
Because you don't want to leave your Tapu Koko up in the active spot, because that loses your pivot. It's going to cost you a bunch with Scuba Net throughout the rest of the game. I mean, at the same time, it doesn't seem bad. We also have access to that Inteleon. I don't want to see them forget that either with a quick shooting. Okay, so they are going to use the quick shooting. Vinny, just to update you, game 1 was won by Darkmot. Right now the Sableye Moltres Hoopa deck is behind game 1. They lost game 1.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, we'll see if David can win this. We'll see if he can win this.
There's a boss. I mean, quick shooting just might be more annoying for them to deal with.
Yeah, I think the quick shooting math, it is sort of relevant. So I don't mind this from Darkmot. But that actually gives Darkmot the opportunity to come in and Hoopa knock out this Umbreon V here. So that's quite interesting. I think what Darkmot's doing, though, is he's actually just not going to put a VMAX in play. Maybe until, like, maybe the end of the game when, like, the Moltres can struggle to want to KO it, maybe. I wonder if maybe that's what Darkmot's kind of thinking about here on how he's going to win. Because Darkmot still is probably, thinking about how to play around the, that Moltres.
Yeah, no, I completely feel you there. I can't necessarily put my finger on it. Like, I don't know if I like Darkmot's last turn.
Mm-hmm.
For what it's worth, it just seems like a little bit awkward, especially now that the Hoopa is taking those 2 prize cards, and it does even up the board state very quickly there. So, yeah, I really don't know how I feel about that. But you want to know what? It doesn't matter how I feel. I'm not the one chilling in the finals. So,
exactly, yeah.
I'm just commentating it over here, so that's cool.
Oh, there's a Marnie.
Yeah, there's a Marnie. I mean, there goes that big hand, and maybe it's just going to be a complete follow-up knockout using 2 prize card Pokemon, maybe scaling it to a 3 prize card Pokemon. And that hand's not too bad. We do see access to Drizzile. I don't think Drizzile's as prized this game.
No, and he has 2 Drizzles, actually, which could be pretty relevant here. We see the Houndoom, though, brings in the Drizzle. Houndoom does do 90 damage with double single strike, so that will kill the Drizzle here. But it is interesting to know, Darkmot did put an Umbreon VMAX in play, which might give David a window of opportunity to potentially win the game.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm not entirely sure how this is gonna work out. Like, I think right now it's looking pretty good for like David-ish, just in terms of like the prize count, but like the board state's incredibly awkward. I think like it's still way too early to tell at this point.
Yeah, kind of the issue here for David is he doesn't really have a clear way to KO Houndoom, I don't think. Houndoom has 103 HP, so he's got 110 HP left. Hoopa cannot KO it, especially because David can't go quick shooting this turn due to that Houndoom KO and the Drizzle there. So he's currently unable to take down that Houndoom with Hoopa. You'd have to go Moltres here to KO the Houndoom, but I don't know if David really wants to do that. So yeah, I'm curious to see what David's play this turn is.
I mean, definitely needs to get something to, like, get something else.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really like they need something to advance their board states. Is that card going to be Clara? I honestly don't know. Clara does allow them to get back a Drizzile.
Mm-hmm. And that's all right.
Yeah, Drizzile Moltres is probably going to grab back a couple energies, or maybe there's not any energies left in the discard pile. I honestly don't know the order that it was taken. Just kind of seeing where it's at. Oh, we do see
Yeah.
an energy search, so it is going to be a knockout. Yo, Stellar Wish Gaming, how's it going? We're gonna see a knockout here.
Yeah, knocking out with the Moltres. And I guess David's just like hoping this Sobble doesn't get killed, and then he will have access to Shady Dealings next turn.
Well, the cute thing is, if you knock out the Sobble, that Galarian Moltres lives.
Yep, and it even does more damage. And he gets
I
a
mean,
Marty.
the Marty, so I mean, it's not terrible. Again, it's just like really like finicky. Like I think it's one of those things where we're like chilling, like everything's chilling, but David's hand is like half very good.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I guess we're gonna have to see Darkmot kind of come in here and attack. It looks like he's going to attack with his Umbreon VMAX. Now, David, I think, has the ability to win if Darkmont goes Umbreon VMAX here. He has quick shooting, and all he has to do is then chain together another Moltres, and quick shooting... actually, no, that won't... Never mind, that won't be enough. So, yeah, okay, Darkmont using the Umbreon VMAX makes it so David cannot one-hit KO it, because Moltres wouldn't be doing enough damage quite yet, because Darkmont still has only taken 2 prizes, so I think Moltres is still short. It's 220 damage, so... Even with Inteleon, that's 240. Umbreon, yeah, it wouldn't be enough.
So, I mean, they're still gonna get 2 more prize cards from Darkmot to win this game.
Yep. I mean, Darkmot still could be in a bit of a bad spot here. Because David's just like 2 turns away from winning. If obviously David's not going to play a 2-prizer down. So basically, David's just going to try to chain together 2 more attacks here to finish the game off. He could hit with Hoopa this turn and then try to win next turn by using Moltres. But if Darkmot can go into another single strike Urshifu VMAX, that could be pretty bad. Unless David can maybe kill Sableye somehow. Houndoom would... I don't think Houndoom would ever be killing a Moltres. So it's basically just David can maybe try to go like Urshifu next turn, but he'd have to go Urshifu VMAX, and then hope maybe David can't chain together a knockout somehow, either with like a boss or KOing the Urshifu.
Yeah, it's really one of those things where like maybe Marty's just gonna be the sauce here at some point, coming from Darkmon. Yep. That's where we're at. The correct boss could work, or maybe retreating into a different attacker could work. Like there's a few things that could work. I think it's really just coming down to how these final turns play out. Or the final turn, I guess, from Andrew. It's either they're not winning the game this turn, as far as I'm concerned, but maybe they'll win the game the next turn.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. It could come down to David too hitting the Galarian Moltres combo to actually build it up in a single turn. So that could also be something that David needs to do here, is also get that Moltres attacking in 1 turn.
Yeah, I could totally see that happening. So they do have Raihan, right?
Yeah, he has access to Raihan. Training Court still is in play. So he still has a few ways to kind of chain together the Galarian Moltres here. We'll see what David decides to do.
Well, right now it's hitting for what, 220?
Yeah,
that might just be 2 quick shootings away.
Yep. So the Umbreon would have 260. So the Umbreon has 50 HP left. So it's still actually quite out of range. But it can get KO'd by Hoopa now. I wonder actually if maybe going Hoopa there was better than the Moltres. I don't know.
It does get more damage on there, so it does bring it to that quick shooting range eventually, right? Like if it just hides on the bench, it is something that like if you hit it with Hoopa, it wouldn't be in the quick shooting range. But I think what Darkmot needs to do is at this point, it's obviously an immediate threat that either the Galarian Moltres or the Hoopa can knock it out. I think you gotta switch to a different attacker and likely Marnie your opponent, because their hand's kind of bussing right now.
Yeah, that is true. Galley does have some things he can do, but if Darkmon can still maybe attack with like Urshifu here, I mean that will be pretty bad for David. Because I don't know if David has a way to win next turn specifically on like if Darkmon is able to attack like another single strike Urshifu V Max here. Since David can KO a V Pokemon and win the game, Darkmon would have to send like an Urshifu V Max in the active spot if he still has one.
Yeah, that's very true. Very, 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 very true.
Yeah.
Again, I think we're just really waiting to see how this plays out. We do see a Sobble.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder how that's gonna play out.
Yeah, I wonder. But the Moltres still survives, so And oh, I guess Darkmot KO with Houndoom, which is actually pretty smart. This forces David to basically just need a boss to win the game.
Yeah, I mean, boss or bust.
Yep. If David has Inteleon in the deck, he can get there. I don't know if David's I can't remember if his Shady Dealer's Intel is priced or not, or in the discard already too.
Yeah, well, I guess we're gonna find out. There's really not too much else that I think we're gonna see here.
Yep.
We do see another energy built up onto the Umbreon, so that's cool. What else are we gonna see?
Yeah, I think just the knockout. All right, well, I think now we just have to see if David has that boss for game. And if not, I think Darkmont has the game basically wrapped up here if David doesn't have an Inteleon. He does. Does he have boss? He does. And David does win this game since the Moltres will one-shot that Umbreon VMAX or really any of the Vs on the bench.
Yeah,
and that'll be GG's.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing Game 3, Darkmot versus David. Who's going to take the GGtoor ChillTCG number 9 Showdown down? We're going to find out after next game. It could be really anyone's game. So
Yeah, I agree.
Single Strike, I think, definitely wants to go first, though. Try to get those extra prize cards. We can see that they lost by a turn going second. And I mean, Darkmot does get to choose who's going to be going first. So, I mean, we're going to really see how that plays out.
All right, let's see how it goes. Looks like we're going to see Darkmot go first. Let's see how Darkmot's able to do here. Can he set up a couple Houndours like we talked about earlier?
I do like the inclusion of Level Ball in the deck to grab out those Houndour, and we do see access to a Capture Energy. I mean, that looks like a really ideal start, but at the same time, David has a good start here with Keep Calling at the very least.
Yeah, it's not bad. You can do Keep Calling here, get 3 Sobbles in play, especially because we know Darkmot, last game, Darkmot was actually taking out a lot of David's Sobbles and trying to deny those Inteleons and Drizzles.
Yeah, that's very true. Really could be I don't know, I think I think that Darkmot could be in a really great spot. Like, it doesn't look like David has too much stuff. Like, using Keep Calling is okay, but they don't really have too much to back it up.
Yeah, exactly. They don't have too much that they can really kind of back up from there. But I mean, again, David, I don't think David minds, kind of just like doing a Keep Calling. I mean, the Sobble most likely will fall next turn. But I think David's okay with that. He's just trying to establish that kind of like turn where it's like, I'll just set up Sobbles. Shade Dealing's very, very good in this matchup. At the same time, though, I can also just kind of chill out, and I don't mind if you knock me out because then my Moltres gets stronger.
Yeah, I mean, that works out too.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the Keep Calling, building up the whole board state. This hand looks pretty good, but it could get Marnied away in an instant. We don't know what Darkmot's chilling with. We actually don't know how they didn't have an opportunity to play a supporter yet.
No, yeah, that's true.
So let's there's the energy. So we are gonna see a knockout this turn.
Yep. Gonna see the Sobble most likely get KO'd, or he could even maybe find the Umbreon VMAX's turn and gust something else out. Potentially KOing the Coco, maybe? Getting rid of the Fruit Tree Pivot, or you can take out the Moltres, or you just KO the active Sobble. The less Inteleon and Sobbles and Shady Dealings that David has altogether is just really good. Yeah, we're just gonna see the Umbreon at KO the Sobble here.
True.
So now I wonder what David's play is. That Marnie didn't give David actually a good hand. He has 2 researches in his hand, which he'll have to lose here unless he wants to attack with Moltres and do 70 damage to this Umbreon. He'd have to lose all of his professor's researches here, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah, is there a reason to not send up the Tapu Koko that I'm missing? Looks like
Yeah,
they're
I
about
don't
to
know.
send up the Galarian
Mhm.
Moltres. It looks like the Tapu Koko with the free retreat seems kind of like the better play.
Yeah, I think maybe David's just kind of accepted that he needs to do something. Yeah, there's the Coco.
Okay.
Huh,
I
yeah.
just like having choices, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And I think even with this Raihan play here, I don't think the Sableye does too much.
Mm-hmm. I think it's just maybe well the Sableye Crazy Claws does I don't think I don't think the Crazy Claws actually KOs the Umbreon. Crazy Claws does 16 plus 10 more damage for each damage on them. I think the Umbreon still survives the Crazy Claws here if I'm correct.
Yeah, I think so too. So, um,
Yeah, and Sableye is also pretty easy to KO too for Umbreon VMAX. So, but he could be waiting to do Sableye next turn. That could also be a thing. Yeah, it looks like we're just gonna see the Moltres attack for 70. Usually you see this in the late game, not the early game, but David just kind of has no
when you got
choice.
to attack, you got to attack, right? Like sometimes it's
Yeah.
just gonna happen,
Hmm.
and it is what it is.
Exactly. Yep.
So I think it's really just comes down to well, Darkmot already has the knockout chilling in
Hmm.
hands. Like it's already there on board, not even in hand. It's on board
Yeah,
already.
it's on board. Yep.
So we just gotta watch it play out. Pichipuku Muku trying to look like drawing out whatever they possibly can.
Yeah, just trying to get that extra card. We see the Marnie, which kind of helps David. I mean, he gets to keep those 2 professors' research, which might be a pretty good thing for David, knowing that you don't have to worry about those researches getting discarded. And just a Moonlight Blade KOing the Moltres. Let's see what David does this turn. The Umbreon does have 90 damage on it. So I think 1 quick shooting plus the Hoopa Sulcate is enough to KO this Umbreon.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see. I think David's plan is more or less building up damage whenever possible,
Yep.
instead of
Mm-hmm.
going for those huge late game attacks. But
Mm-hmm.
it does look like this is a bit more of a struggle game for David than a game where they're confidently taking a lead.
Yeah, exactly. So there's the Hoopa coming down. Or not. Oh, maybe. I wonder what David's play is this turn. He can kill this Umbreon with that quick shooting Sulcate combo, but he has to find it. I think we might just see David just Professor's Research this turn. I imagine is probably the play to do. Just draw 7 cards, try to establish some stuff.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense as well.
Yeah.
It's really just like these decks, like there's not too much interaction between them. It's very how do I put it? One deck does something, another deck does something. There's not a
Mm-hmm.
lot of thinking because they're both just throwing, or at least trying to throw the correct attackers out against each other.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, the fact that they're already behind a few prize cards already, the board states filled, might be difficult. How much damage is on that Umbreon right now? Is that
I
90
had
on it?
yeah, 90. So yeah, quick shooting plus a Sulcate is enough to KO it. That is 200 in total.
Gotcha. So that math seems to work out nicely.
Yep.
Maybe just attacking it with another Umbreon though would be great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would still be ideal, but there is the knockout. So David's got got 2 prizes now, and we'll see what Darkmont does this turn in retaliation. It looks like he brings in Houndoom. We might see another potential gust here from David try to KO something on the bench with low HP. Like maybe one of those Sobbles just kind of take away David's Sobble outs.
Yeah, it could be very valid there.
Mm-hmm.
Still makes me wonder, like, how this match could have been different if we saw Galarian Weezing. Um, I think it would be, like, interesting. I think
Oh
my
yeah.
general consensus is that the Sableye V is not done too much. Um, I think it's just a cute inclusion in the deck, but I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
there's anything else that really adds to the field, because I know we've been watching a lot of Pokemon tonight, at least a
Yep.
few hours, and Sableye has not done anything.
Yeah, the Sableye just unfortunately hasn't been doing much. I think it's still like kind of a cute card to play, and it definitely has its moments. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe the Sableye V is just not cutting it, and especially maybe having two of them might not be as good. But I maybe there's just times where Darkmot's used it. Maybe Sableye is the reason he made it all the way to top 8.
I mean, that very well could be the case, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna maybe we'll find out someday, or
Hmm.
maybe we'll never know.
Yeah. Maybe we'll never know.
Maybe we'll never know. The famous
Yeah.
Kanye West tweet. Guess we'll never know.
Exactly.
Doing a one prize card Pokemon for a one prize card Pokemon, I think Darkmot's trading pretty efficiently here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's and if this Houndoom can survive again, like I think it just puts it just like further and further ahead in this particular matchup.
Yeah, exactly. The Houndoom living is huge, and there we go. Knock out the Sobble. The Houndoom has 130 HP. But I guess we could still see David double quick shooting plus Hoopa is still enough to one shot a Houndoom.
That does do the magic number of 130.
Yeah.
Although we are getting to the point where I don't know, it's really not looking too bad for David here. I feel like
Hmm.
their hand's naturally pretty good. At the same point, if there's no Sobbles in play and they don't have access to Drizzile, they're one wrong Marnie away from just losing the game.
Yeah, that still is going to be an issue. The Drizzles and Sobbles getting taken out early definitely is pretty bad for David. Just the less shade dealings you have, the less consistent your deck is, and the more chances, the higher the chances that you can, get a bad hand off of a Marnie.
Yeah, very true. So I don't know. We'll see how this plays out. It looks like
Hmm.
the Clara might be early.
Yeah, looks like the Clara here. I mean, Moltres is doing 170 damage, so maybe David's just gonna KO the Houndoom with Moltres, or it looks like he's still trying to do the Hoopa. The thing is with the Clara though, now you're kind of you're susceptible to a Marnie.
Yeah, that's the thing that kind of worries me about that is just like
Yeah,
all those cards going away in the deck.
yeah, and that's yeah. I don't know because yeah, Marnie is just a lot more stronger now. So I don't know. And yeah, and David didn't even put the Moltres in play this turn, so I don't
All that stuff
I
could
don't
just
know.
go, and it's no longer secured in the discard pile.
Yep.
Um, I don't know if we're gonna see an air balloon come down on this Houndoom. Okay, cool. We're gonna see because you never know, like when they're just setting up a
Hmm.
raw Houndoom, how
Yeah.
things could be. Um, Basically, in order for Darkmot to win, is they need to hope that David misses a knockout one turn. They need to get two attacks off with it looks like their Umbreon V, or they might
Yeah.
drop a single strike V down. I think that's really it because if you just go in there with the Umbreon V Max, you just present yourself these opportunities where you can lose the game.
Exactly. Yep.
So I mean,
So
we're down to the
we'll see.
wire. Someone's gonna be walking
Hmm.
out of this with a dub in the next 5 minutes or so. So don't get up. Don't grab a drink. Stay hydrated, but
Exactly.
maybe Uber Eats or call your significant other, brother, sister, mom, dog to get you that drink because we're about to crown a champion here.
Yep. We are about to see who is going to be victorious in this GGtoor tournament.
Exactly. And these tournaments are awesome. I think it always
Hmm.
brings the community together. I love these larger style Pokemon events. In the absence of official Pokemon TCG regionals, it's very cool. The
For sure.
thing that's like scares me about this is that we are likely not going to see the knock. Like I mean, maybe they're going to get the knockout with the Houndoom,
Yeah.
That might be
I
just the wave. There also looks like Darkmot's running low on Earn.
mm-hmm.
There's 3 Earn down already, so I'm slightly worried about that as well.
Yeah, same. I think David's just like, hmm. Yeah, I think we're just kind of see like Darkmot here, just throwing all the single prizers at David to just basically just say, you're not killing my 2 or 3 prizers, you're killing my single prizers, and the prize trade isn't going to work out in your favor. But David is still able to maybe do like some boss shenanigans. He actually gets to keep his hand from that last turn, which is actually really important for him here. The Houndoom can die to the Hoopa, so that's also good. He could also go Moltres here, um, if he wanted to. He could Moltres KO Crobat, but I don't think you really want to do that. He could hit the Umbreon for 220 and then quick shooting it twice.
That seems a
Maybe,
little bit way too little too. I think it's just
yeah.
like kind of awkward.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I wonder if that might actually be okay. Like, Moltres can do 220 damage. He can boss the Umbreon VMAX on the bench without the air balloon on it, hit it for 220 with Moltres, and also quick shooting it twice.
I just like going Hoopa here, having
I don't know.
Galar and Malters down, and being like, I'm a
Mm-hmm.
boss away from winning the game. I think that sounds like a pretty good plan, because that
Yeah.
Crobat's going to get absolute gobbled up by a Galarian Moltres.
Yeah,
But
that is true. Yeah.
there's a few paths that can definitely change how things are.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really like anything could really happen. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I think David just kind of has to choose. Yeah, he has a few options of what he can do.
And I mean, with that gigantic hand, I'd love to see a Marnie. I think that's really the big play that we're looking for
Yeah.
is Marnie a possibility? Now, the thing that we gotta watch out for if David's able to go back to back Galarian Moltres, the damage from the single strike roar does put it in range of getting knocked out with fiery wrath.
Uh-huh. Yep, that is very true. Yeah, and that's something David does have to watch out for also.
Yeah, so David's looking to see which damage
Hmm.
counters are going down. Darkmot's like, how do I make it around this kind of situation?
Yep.
But we'll see how that all plays out. I mean, David has a really hard turn to plan out. You can see this timer is probably going to go right down.
Mm-hmm.
We do see the Moltres. Are they going to go for the Hoopa knockout, or are they going to go boss? Oh, we do see the boss. Interesting.
Okay, so it looks like he's gonna go after Crobat. Maybe David's thinking that he can't build up an Umbreon VMAX, or yeah, he can't build up the Umbreon on the bench. Hmm. Maybe also taking 2 prizes gives David more outs to like better cards for next turn because he has no access to shady dealings.
Like David has nothing going on in their hand after this play, which I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on what's in their prize cards, right?
Yeah. Yeah, David's actually gonna try to maybe KO the Houndour next turn with quick shooting if Darkmot doesn't evolve it. I don't know if Darkmot has a Houndoom left in the deck. Um, so I don't know. I know David did knock out a Houndoom earlier. I'm pretty sure. So well, he's actually gonna spread the quick shooting damage out to the other Umbreon. He's gonna hit for 220. All right, let's see what Darkmot can do. I guess the Moltres does have 120 HP, which is pretty
We
bulky
do see
actually.
boss, we do see Moltres, but what
Oh
we
wow.
can see here is we might see a knockout with an Umbreon VMAX, because the reason why they're setting up this Houndoom is
Yeah.
because this Houndoom has to retreat in order to have access to single strike energy, as far as I'm
Mm-hmm.
concerned.
Yeah.
And you don't want to set up a one prize card Pokemon or anything else like that. So I think you try to get the fat Umbreon going up in the fronts and be like, is my HP enough? Am I tall enough to ride? And if the Umbreon's able to survive the attack, we're gonna see how it plays out. Like right now, we see this
Mm-hmm.
the Tower of Darkness drawing a couple cards. We need to see some form of something. We need to see a Marnie here, I think, because if I'm not mistaken, it looks like David's chilling on the dub.
Yeah, currently David is. Yeah, definitely. We need to see a Marnie here to kind of stop David.
Oh, and we do see the heartbreak emote. Is that going to be it?
Yeah, it might be it. Is that it? We see the Umbreon come in, and we just see the attack there, and that's GG's. David has game. He can knock out the Houndoom with Hoopa thanks to the quick shootings. And that is it.
So yeah, it looks like David's gonna be the GGtoor champion. Um,
Yep.
and that's absolutely amazing, walking away with $200.
Yep.
But don't feel too bad for Darkmot coming second place, walking away with $100. Certainly awesome when you're playing Pokemon for free. We'll
Exactly.
be
Can't
right
complain too
back
much.
into the caster's booth, and we'll sign everyone off in a second.